This is the Whitney Plantation, a one-of-a-kind Louisiana museum focused entirely on enslaved Black people. It's described as sobering, a blatant reminder of what so many call a stain on America: slavery. Most Americans learn about the institution in school, an inherently brutal subject where words like Middle Passage, Cotton Gin, and Underground Railroad appear in history textbooks. But on paper, slavery ends in 1865. It's a blip in many textbooks. So why do we still talk about slavery?
You will not replace us! You will not replace us!
Because of the legacy the institution has left behind.
The principal legacy of the institution of slavery that had been around for nearly 250 years is white supremacy.
White supremacy, the belief that the white race is superior to all other races, is interwoven into the fabric of the United States, economically, politically, and socially, post-emancipation.
Slavery is the origin of this country. It is where things begin.
It's the fact that the median white family has 41 times more wealth than the median Black family. Employers choosing resumes with white-sounding names over those with Black-sounding names. It's banks and individuals discriminating against Black American homebuyers until the Fair Housing Act outlawed it in 1968. White supremacy is the nation's 13th Amendment banning slavery, unless you're a convicted criminal. Black inmates have long outnumbered white inmates, the gap narrowing only in the past 10 years, according to Pew Research. A long-standing silence on the over 4,000 lynchings of Black Americans.
Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze.
Recently memorialized.
Walk all by ourselves.
While Confederate General Robert E. Lee has stood for over a century. Slavery's legacy is
the reason why you get segregated neighborhoods, segregated schools.
You give me second-class houses. You give me second-class schools.
It was the reason for
the largest demonstration for civil rights in the history of the United States.
More than 1 million citizens found their names stripped from the rolls.
Its alleged voter suppression in Georgia affecting thousands of Black voters. And a court finding racial gerrymandering in North Carolina.
It's shaping sort of interactions with police.
They shot him dead! They shot him dead! They shot him dead! They shot him dead!
The history of this country has shown us that the medical establishment is not to be trusted, particularly when it comes to Black and brown bodies.
Black expectant mothers dying at disproportionate rates compared to their white counterparts. Or
I found it was a 2016 study that looked at medical students and residents and found that they believed that Black people could withstand greater amounts of pain than people of other races.
It's shaping interactions with white folk.
It has nothing to do with their race.
In parks, in sports.
A varsity high school wrestler having his dreadlocks cut off.
In churches.
Murdering 9 people.
And homes.
With the murder of Tatiana Jefferson.
Slavery's legacy is why we continue to learn about it.
Nobody alive now enslaved an African American, all right? So nobody is responsible for direct enslavement, period. But if you are white in this world, if you are white in America, if you are a white immigrant or an immigrant who came over and became white once you were here, you have benefited from the privileges that have been bestowed upon you because of the discrimination and enslavement of African Americans. Like, no, you're not responsible for anything that happened in the past, but you are responsible for everything that's going to happen in the future.
And when we know better,
it is incumbent upon you to understand the past so that you can make better choices, more democratic choices, more egalitarian choices about the future.
We do better.